Welcome to episode 295 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Good morning. Somehow I bent a screwdriver.
Oh man, you really bent that screwdriver.
I don't know how I did that. I don't remember doing that.
For those that can't see, which is everyone, this screwdriver is now shaped like a 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7.
Like a sloppy 7 a kid would make.
Yeah.
Child.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It looked like you were
I
trying
don't know what happened to it.
like break into something.
That's a possibility. I don't think so. And then I have so many weird things up here. How did this broken screwdriver? I have nothing locked up here. So not only is this screwdriver like bent to shit, but somehow it's up in my fucking video game recording room.
Do you think someone broke in using that screwdriver and then left it?
Unlikely.
Okay.
Nobody wants anything that's in here.
That's probably not true.
Well, yeah, it's I do have like my systems and my TV. I don't think anybody would want like any of my collectibles, we'll call them.
If there's one thing I know about a thief, they'll take things that hurt you the most.
How do you know about? Has this happened to you?
No, but they always take anything that looks valuable. So if you take the time to display it like you have behind you, they'll take it because they think it's expensive.
I should just hang garbage on the walls? Is that what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm. Like
just in case.
Like used pie pans. Like you're keeping the deer away. Staple a trash bag.
Room.
Yeah, staple a trash bag to the wall.
Because they tend to break in the second story window and eat the corn.
Yeah. Well, they'll break in and be like, that's not a room I want anything out of because this guy's a psychopath.
Right.
So he's got the garden deer steaks up here. That's actually the best way to throw off a criminal.
Just to always act like you're more insane than they are?
Mm-hmm. You can also, if you just do super crazy stuff out there, they're like, that's not a house I want to break into.
Like out in front of it?
Yeah. Like
a scarecrow in the middle of July or something, but not in the middle of a garden, just in your yard?
Just in the middle of the yard.
Right.
With wearing like a shirt that doesn't fit the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like Smile, have a nice day, and you're like, whoa.
Right, so, in a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
And cowboy hat.
That's a lunatic right there. He's got boots on his arms. You're like, that guy's fucking nuts. That's not a house I'm going to break into. Even if I did, he wouldn't have anything of note.
That would be...
It works better than any like ADT sign.
I don't know. I've said it a number of times. If my house gets broken into because of where I live, it is specifically because they want to take things from me.
Like you've won Publishers Clearinghouse style?
Yes, my house is not one you just... Where I live is not a house you just stumble across and go, ooh, they might have cool stuff.
I think that's...
My house is, I know who lives there and I don't like him and I want to take his shit.
I think that's a perk too. Like if you live in a house where my house, you have to want to be here in order to be here.
Right, that's how my house is.
Like less than yours, but I'm not secluded enough that if you were here, my neighbors wouldn't go, hey, why are you there?
Right.
You don't belong there. I know because I know who belongs there, and you're not one of them. So also there's some nosy elderly people that live right down the street from me.
Ooh, nice. So they pay attention to everything.
Everything, including me. I'll be out mowing the yard or whatever.
They wave?
No. I wish they would wave. It would make it less creepy. They just stare.
Oh, that's weirder.
Both of them. They don't pretend to look at something else. They're not like pretending to trim the hedges while they stare. They just stand in the driveway and stare at me like I'm in the zoo.
Do they have like the pitchfork, like the American Gothic painting?
Nope, they just stand there.
Weirdos. And dude wear overalls?
Nope.
He's got to have overalls on, right?
He dresses like an old man that bowls. Short sleeve button up, double pockets on the front.
Yep, he's got the shorts that are pulled way too high and it's tucked in.
He'll do shorts or he'll do a pair of slacks. The other day, though, so they'll watch me in the backyard. Wherever I am, they just watch. It's not just me. I see them watching everybody. Because sometimes you got to watch the watched, if you know what I'm talking about.
Who watches the watchers?
Yeah, you got to watch the watchers. So sometimes I watch them watch other people. Which might explain why they stare at me all the time.
Right, because you're staring at it.
But the other day, and they're probably both in their 80s. Like, I feel comfortable guesstimating 80s for them. I don't know these people.
Uh-oh, guesstimate. Watch it. That's not a real thing.
Yeah, you can guesstimate.
Someone's about to lose their mind.
So I look in the backyard the other day. They have the garage open, and the lady's sweeping, which is fine. I mean, if you care that much about your garage, you can sweep it out. But then I look beside her, and then the dude is just standing there in a pair of tighty-whities and nothing else.
Ooh. How'd that go for you?
I'm like, I didn't see that coming or want to see that coming.
But you got to kind of give him props because you're like, you know what? Cool. You get it. You know fucks to give.
He also had his hands on his hips, like watching her sweep.
If I want to be out here in my tighty-whities, I'm going to be out here in my tighty-whities.
Yeah. I think they probably went in the house and made sweet love to each other because he was just watching her work like it got him going.
Well, I didn't need that in my life, thanks.
Well, I'm just telling you, I think that's probably what happened. You know, I used all my detective skills, and that's what I pieced together, that he just enjoys watching her work, and it gets him a little excited. So he's stripped down, getting ready for the events to come. I mean, good for them for still going at it.
Yeah, it's good. I don't need to know about it, all right?
I mean, it's not like I saw it. He struck a pose that
it's kind of worse. It's kind of worse that you didn't see it. You just have an image formed in your head.
I just assume it happened.
You know, it's kind of like when your parents do it. You don't know. You've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Some people see it.
But then you have that image in your head when someone mentions it, and you're like,
well, see what I'm just thinking. He's not hiding anything in those tighty-whities, so he probably walked in the house, and she's probably a little sweaty from the sweep. And you know how just one thing leads to the other.
This is creepy.
That's what I'm.
Let's not do. Let's do something else.
It's natural.
I know it's natural. I understand that it's natural. It really, one has nothing to do with the other.
It's totally natural.
It's great that it's natural. I understand that it's natural. Let's just put it this way. That's not one of the categories I choose. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one I take advantage of either, but
I know it's there.
Happy for them.
But I skipped that one.
Yeah.
That's not one of my categories.
Old on old a thing? It's usually old on young, right?
Usually, yeah. I guess. I'm sure old on old is a thing. I mean, you can find it. I don't want to.
Yeah,
but you could.
I've not searched for it.
You know.
While we're talking about the things that matter in life, do you feel, and I know this is probably, you're not the right person for this question because I know you don't. Do you think most people feel better about clicking on a category that's already there versus searching for something?
No, I don't.
You think people just go all into whatever they want?
I think most people, and we're not just talking about that. I'm talking about in general in life. Most people are very specific in their needs, wants, and desires.
Well, yeah, I think so too, but I wonder if you feel like less of a freak if you can just click on the thing that's already there as a category that other people have deemed okay.
No, because that's someone else making the choice for you.
Yeah, but a lot of people they don't want to be weird.
Nobody wants that. Well, it's not like they're doing it at house parties.
I don't know. Maybe they are.
Most folks are sitting by themselves somewhere. Or,
maybe they are.
Sitting on the toilet or whatever.
Maybe they're at a Subway bathroom.
Well, that's fine as long as they're in the stall.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually they're usually alone.
Let's just back up to it's not okay at a Subway, but
what?
It's not okay at a Subway. I don't want anyone listening to this to think that Dan just gave you permission to go to a Subway and have at it, because it's not okay. Because especially if I have to go in there and pee. I
mean, if you want to do that, do that. However, I can assure you that by you saying that, well, Dan said it was okay, is not going to be some consequence.
Are you perfectly fine using public restrooms?
Yeah, I'm not a guy I'm not a guy who has a problem using restrooms anyway.
So, in a normal week, you use public restrooms?
Oh, yeah.
With other people that are in that restroom?
What do you mean?
Like multiple persons. Yeah, right. It's one that holds more than one person.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a problem.
How many times a week do you think you're in one where someone
else
is pleasuring themselves?
Oh, I don't know.
Weekly, probably.
I've never really thought about it, I suppose. Again, public is not one of the categories I choose. So I would know. It never occurs to me to think about that.
I just assume everyone is.
You do. No, sometimes you can hear that that's not what's going on.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone, but I just. I mean, you mean
no,
you hear them?
No. I don't mean that.
Oh yes. Yeah, so.
I mean the frosty shits. When you know, yeah, that person's not pounding one out.
Yeah, or maybe they are.
No, they're not.
I went to the mall yesterday, and it sounded like the gentleman in the stall behind me was pressure washing something.
Ooh.
And I was like, I don't even know how you make that sound. I don't even know. I don't even know what the process is for developing that noise.
Pressure washing.
Mm-hmm. There was like a slight hum, and it was just constant.
That's specific.
It was just constant, and it was high pressure.
That's a very specific sound.
I was like, wow.
That usually involves machinery or gasoline.
So here's the
to make
thing.
happen.
He comes out as I'm washing my hands, and he's got a backpack. If you don't have,
what was he wearing?
I don't know if he had a polo on for sure. I think he had a polo and jeans. Polo was tucked in also.
Was it white?
The polo might have been white. Here's the thing, though. Anything that you think he might have been doing that was okay is not, because I saw him shopping later on. He wasn't there for work purposes.
Gotcha.
No.
My thought was maybe he was a Mormon. Because a lot of times they're
no. He wasn't dressed like that.
And you know they walk everywhere.
Yeah. So. He wasn't dressed like that. He was also.
It's not a judgment. It's just a fact.
Yeah. But that's usually a specific look, as far as the attire goes, and that wasn't.
Okay.
That wasn't what he was.
It wasn't that. Okay.
He was also. I don't know. There was something like he gave me a weird vibe, so he didn't wash his hands, which is unacceptable.
Oh no!
After in their pressure washing.
I get it after not peeing sometimes. I get it. I tend to not pee on my hands. I'm lucky that way, I guess.
Yeah, but you touched your dick.
This ain't the first time, ain't going to be the last.
It's not about you touching, it's about other people not wanting to then have you touch them with your dick hands.
I don't touch other people, so that's fine.
You touch things that other people touch, though.
Well,
you take your hand straight from your dick to the door handle.
I promise you, my dick has less germs than more than half the shit people are touching every day. So
it's not your dick I have a problem with, it's other people's.
No more fucks to give.
You know what I'm saying? They take their nasty dick hands and they rub it all over everything.
There's been a drought this year. But always after you take a shit, always.
Well, that guy was in there pressure washing and came out and didn't.
Yeah.
But
I'm assuming it was a shit. I don't think it was real pressure washing.
So, and here's the other problem I have. You shouldn't shop with a backpack unless you have children. Because you automatically look as if you're stealing to me. What are you doing with that backpack?
I guess I kind of get that.
What are you hiding?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of get that. That's not where I immediately go with it. But
if I see you with a messenger bag, I'm like, oh, you have a computer that for some reason is so fucking important you can't not have it with you. If I see a fanny pack, I'm like, there's the guy that gets it. But if I see somebody with a backpack, I'm like, what are you up to?
Well, here's the thing: is maybe the guy's on his way home from work and he rides his bicycle, so he has everything in his.
There are explanations.
That's the thing: is you've got to widen
this guy
your
doesn't
mind.
look
You've
like
got
he
to open
rides.
your mind.
This gentleman doesn't ride bikes. Okay,
you don't know that. There's some people that ride bikes that you would not believe ride bikes.
He doesn't
but
ride.
You have to open your mind and you have to understand that sometimes people are in different situations and think differently and do different things than you do.
They steal things.
Like, I get that you don't ride a bike ever. I understand that.
Well, that guy was built like me plus 200 pounds. He ain't riding no bike.
He might be. He's got to a point in his life where he's trying to lose the weight.
And what do you need so bad in that backpack?
And maybe he was there buying good. He was coming from work. He has his work shoes in there. He was
shopping for shoes.
Computer. He needs new shoes for his new workout he's going to do.
Nah, fuck that guy. He was stealing.
I'm telling you, I got a whole narrative in my head.
Yeah, me too. He was taking stuff and putting it in his backpack. And whatever he was doing in there pressure washing is how he's going to get to the product he probably strapped to the tank later on.
It's not like you to automatically think the worst of people.
I don't think the worst of people. I think the worst of this guy.
Oh, it's just this guy.
Yeah, shit
Now
hands.
you're being judgmental.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, yeah, he lost. Any reasonable doubt that I would have given him was gone when he didn't wash his hands. Whoa, you're feeling some sort of way now. This is Allergy Talk with Dan and Ryan.
I'm allergic to mean people, Ryan.
No, he's out there with dump hands. Like he lost me. I'm not on team shit hands.
You're not on this team anymore.
Right.
I get it.
I usually do give people the benefit of the doubt. Not that guy though. Something was up. If I was a cop, I would have followed him around. I think they call that profiling, but I would have done it.
It is. It's not profiling.
Right, because he's guilty. I get it.
He's being. You're allowed to.
He's suspicious as fuck.
Yes, you're allowed to follow somebody who's suspicious.
He's a creeper.
But if they're not suspicious and you're following them due to your own prejudices, then that is profiling.
He's guilty. Filled in my bones.
Okay, Judge Dredd.
Feel it in my bones.
I am the law.
Yeah. You have been found guilty. That's what I would say if I took him out. The judge has spoken.
That's right.
Yeah, he was taking
Judge,
shit.
Jury, and executioner.
He was taking shit.
You. Judge Walton.
Yeah, I don't like that. It loses the vibe.
What's it would be? It'd be your last name.
Yeah, you could just take on a new
Judge.
name though.
Oh, what are you gonna go with?
Maybe Diesel. Judge Diesel.
Judge Diesel.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty hardcore.
Okay.
Or Octane, because I'm like high octane. Fucking, just get out there just solving crimes and putting people away.
I don't think either of those really instill fear in people though, and that's what you'd want your judge name to do.
I don't want to be fearful. I want them to be relaxed around me, and then all of a sudden Judge Octane puts them away.
No, that's not how judges work.
That's not how the judges work.
No, I'm talking about
you don't know the Octane.
Mega City 1 judges. I'm not talking about judges.
I'm going to do my own judge thing, though. I'm not going to copy someone else's judge thing.
Oh, you're going to... But it's a thing. I'm talking Mega City 1.
I'm never talking that, ever.
I'd be like Judge Crush.
I never actually mean Judge Dredd.
Because that instills fear.
Or Orange Crush, which I love.
But I don't want people... I'm done.
What if you...
I'm done.
What if you were
Judge Orange Crush?
What if you were sponsored by Orange Crush? That's not the worst thing in the world.
If I was a Judge Crush?
Yeah.
That's different.
And you looked like the can? That's not... You like Orange Crush?
No, that's not scary. You can have like a patch. I could have a patch.
Like a back tat.
Just like a patch on my arm.
Do you like Orange Crush?
I got to be in the mood for orange and grape soda, but when I want them, I want them.
We're about to talk about video games, but would you endorse a product you didn't love if the money was right?
Let me put it this way. I would not endorse a product I hated if the money was right.
Right. I would not... Here's the thing. I would promote anything I was paid to promote. Mm-hmm. I would not endorse a product that I didn't try. And at least feel okay about telling other people about.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much in that same boat.
But if you just said, hey, can you do a 30-second spot for something I don't like? Not a feelings thing, just read this spot. I'll endorse anything, or I'll promote anything. But if you said, I need you to get on here and tell people you love these cough drops and I don't think I can do that. Because then you're going to be like, this guy's an asshole. These cough drops are terrible.
Yeah, then it becomes a judgment. Yeah, reading an ad, like, it would be different than...
But it's got to be like clear this is an ad.
Than my personal endorsement of, hi, my name's Shirtless Dan, and I love Orange Crush.
Yeah. I'm Ryan, and every time my hemorrhoids are acting up, I always reach for the, like I can't do that unless I've tried the product and at least have it's got to work.
Exactly.
I don't guess I have to love it as much as it just has to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want me to do flex tape, I need to try it out, and as long as I can saw a boat in half and put it back together, we're good.
You didn't try it out yet?
Yeah, I did. It works like
you were trying it out for your...
Yeah, it works like a fucking champ.
Does it? Good.
I cut a strip off, jumped in the pool underwater, slapped it down on the lining where I had a tear, and it just doesn't leak. It's fucking incredible.
I got to get some because I got some of the hoses for my pool are leaking. I think I'm going to try the flex tape.
It's as long as it's flat, you're good.
Oh, it's not flat.
Yeah.
It's ridged.
Yeah, it won't. It's too rigid and thick to work.
Shit.
Yeah. Now, you could get some Flex Seal. That would work.
Yeah.
But the tape is very thick. I repaired Pool Float with it also, slapped it on there, good to go. I would rep Flex tape. Probably the whole Flex line. I have to assume it all works as well as the tape.
So Flex Seal is what I need then. I was going to try. I didn't realize the Flex tape was that rigid.
It is. I did not either. It's very, very rigid. But let me tell you, if you can get on a flat surface,
you are A-okay, good to go.
It ain't going nowhere. It's gross too, even on your fingers. It's like you ever touch one of those sticky mouse traps? That's what it feels like on the side that goes down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's not for me.
Yeah, it's gross. You could probably use it for that purpose, though. I don't recommend using glue traps for mice.
You don't? Why?
I think it's very, very barbaric.
Because they sit there and they go.
And they cry.
Not if they land right and their Mauser seals.
And then you, as a piece of shit, are just throwing them in a fucking grocery sack and toss them in the trash like they're not a piece of life. If you're going to kill them, snap a neck.
Huh.
Or catch and release.
A real mouse trap?
There's a lot of catch and release traps now.
Yeah, I'm not a catch and release guy, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him to come back. I have an outside cat now, and he seems to be taking care of business.
Dude, cats are straight killers.
Because I am constantly seeing...
Just dead things.
Dead things.
That's what the cats
in the yard. And sometimes he brings them into the garage.
Well, that's for you. It's showing you how to hunt.
Yeah. There's a chipmunk laying there on the...
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
It's dead, and they'll come over and gnaw at it a little bit when he's hungry, I guess. I don't know.
That's great. Do you feed the cat?
Yes.
Okay.
But he wanted to chew on
I get it. Sometimes you want the fresh.
He wanted to chew on the fucking chipmunk. What am I going to say? No, don't do that?
No, you got to let a killer kill.
Exactly. I mean, he's a predator.
Cats, outside like feral cats, are the most ruthless animals on the planet.
It's funny, though, because he's not feral.
Where does cat?
Like where
did it come from?
If I'm out in the garage sitting in the chair, he comes up and sits on my lap and purrs and wants to be pet. So he's like the perfect, like, in-between cat.
Yeah, my stepdad had one that just appeared, and it's like that. It will sit in his lap, it'll play with him and everything, and then he comes out and there's a 4-foot snake laying dead on the porch. And it's licking its paws. He's like, what the hell? It just goes out and kills things.
It's the perfect in-between.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It really is.
So last week when I was talking about what I played, I forgot to mention that I played Donut County.
Oh, yes.
And then I had somebody reach out to him and ask me what I thought of it. So real quickly before we talk about the game that everybody's playing right now, I want to talk about Donut County. So I've got some mixed feelings about Donut County.
Okay.
The art style is amazing. The gameplay is very Katamari and fun and relaxing. There's a story with it. The writing is obviously where a lot of the time was spent. There's a Trashopedia, which kind of explains every piece of trash that you let go in the hole. It's very creative and funny and charming. But the game is one note and very, very short. I got the platinum for Donut County in an hour and a half.
Ooh.
That's not after I beat the game. That's total.
Right.
I played that game. I completed that game. I got the platinum in an hour and a half.
That's not a whole lot of playtime.
And the game is like $12 or $13.
Not worth it, doesn't sound like.
So here's the thing about Donut County. It's great. It's mostly made by one person, Ben Esposito. Whoa. Well, shout out for Ben right there. It's mostly made by one person, and you can feel the heart in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But there is an iPhone version, or I think it's an Android too, that's $5 that is the same game, and I think that is the right way to go. I think financially that is the right amount for that game.
So you think that $5 is about the price point that you think is acceptable for the game?
Yeah, I do. So I'm okay with it costing more than the iPad version. So if it's $5, okay, I'm okay with it being $7 or $8 on consoles. I think $12, $13, whatever it is just it's just pushing it. You're asking. Here's the problem. It's not. You're asking people to pay for art.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but my expectations because of what I get for $12 have radically changed over the last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
$12 are getting you 10 and 15-hour experiences.
Right.
I'm not against what happened with Donut County, but it's going to take some reprogramming and more games like this to come out. I don't regret the purchase. I just felt like the price didn't match what I got out of it.
And that's what I was just going to ask. So do you, after having completed the game and already spent that money, do you feel like you were ripped off in any way?
Mm-mm. But I would not suggest that you go buy it for $12.
Okay.
Like if you asked me if you should play Donut County, I would say absolutely. But I think $7 or $8 is the right price. Or really, I suggest, especially if you have a tablet, I suggest you play it over there. $5 is even better. That game is totally worth $5.
Okay.
If you have people coming over a lot and you want to hand the controller off, I think it's probably worth the $12 or $13. If you're somebody like me or Dan who's going to play it one time alone, it's not worth the money. But let me rephrase that. In the current climate, it is not worth the money. You know, again, you're asking
because there's so much that you can get for that cost. Sometimes even less.
Right. That's the thing. It's I don't want to diminish what that game is or the art and love and care that went into it.
Right, and that's the conundrum because like you said, 12, 13 hours for 12, 13 bucks is kind of the standard today.
Right.
But does it matter what are you paying for your experience or are you paying for length? Or is length or do you how are you doing it?
See, that's where I have like a really big double standard because I'm paying for my experience always, but I expect a certain amount out of a normal game. However, VR, had I paid $12 for a game that was an hour and a half in VR, I would have wanted to tweet at the developer and tell him how happy I was with it.
Right.
Because in that climate, that's what I expect. But in a normal PSN downloadable game that I've been excited about for a year and a half now, I expect more than an hour and a half.
Okay.
They basically take advantage of 3 or 4 mechanics in the whole game. And there are so many more options they could have went with, but they wanted to keep it simple, I assume. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I have no reason to want to play that game again. I'm glad I played it. I would have much rather played that on the iPad for $5.
Fair enough. I was just playing devil's advocate, just asking some different questions.
Yeah, it's tough because I do think you're paying for art in this circumstance because it is beautiful.
Because I say time and time again that I want a good game. I don't care about how long it is. And in most cases, I stand by that. I can't think of anything off the top of my head where I was like, oh, that game wasn't long enough. But I can understand that that's one, it's one area that gets measured when someone else is making that judgment. So
I feel confident that if you purchase this game for $13 and beat it in the time that I did, you would tell me this is too short for that money.
Okay.
Even if you don't care about those things, because I typically don't care about length either. It doesn't match the guidelines of what I know for a game that costs that price.
But it depends on, gotcha. And it depends on what you squeeze into that hour and a half.
Yeah.
In a certain sense. And you don't feel that as far as the whole combination is worth that.
So someone who has never ever played a video game probably could have beat it in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And probably could apply it in 3 to 4. Someone who's never played a video game ever. I read all the Trashopedia stuff. I did all of that. It was charming. It's cute. It's fun. It's just part of a game, in my opinion. What made Katamari so good was the art, the gameplay, but also the fact that I could play it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sense of scale really in this either. I don't ever get big enough to where I really want to get with the whole, but that's all for another time. But I just wanted to talk about it because I had someone ask me and I realized I didn't talk about Donut County. Play it on somewhere where it's cheaper. Play it on a tablet.
Fair enough.
So we're going to swing over to the next game. You like that? I know you're probably tingling. You're probably tingling to talk about it.
My senses are tingling to talk about it?
Yeah, probably. Spider-Man. Excuse me, Marvel.
That's right.
Spider-Man.
Don't fuck it up.
You put that in the M's or you put that in the S's?
M's.
It's bullshit. It's Spider-Man.
It's Marvel Spider-Man is the title of the game.
So it is in the M's at the stores.
Because that's how alphabets work.
It's bullshit, though. It's Spider-Man.
It's Marvel's Spider-Man.
Marvel's Spider-Man.
Released.
Yeah, it came swinging into my life on Friday.
Well, it actually came swinging into my life Thursday.
Yeah, I didn't get mine Thursday. I got mine Friday. And
I picked mine up early.
And let me tell you...
Installed it and played it some Thursday night.
Let me tell you why I got it. I was going to do the GameStop. I thought I might pick it up like you did on yours, but I wouldn't have played it that night anyways. But the point is, Best Buy is doing this weird promotion where they just give you a copy of Destiny 2, the physical copy.
But they're not advertising or anything.
That I haven't seen anywhere. Shout out to Pat Man for letting me know because he pre-ordered his I forget what it was. He pre-ordered some game anyways, and it came with a free copy of it. And he's like, well, "That's weird." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's something we're doing right now." Then he pre-ordered Spider-Man. They're like, "Yeah, here's your free copy of Destiny." He's like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" So I jumped on and added Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man, to my cart, and it said 3 items in cart. I'm like, okay. So I click on it, and it's like the Marvel Spider-Man pre-order DLC, and then Destiny 2 physical PS4, $49.99 minus $49.99.
Puts it at 0.
And I was like, that's weird. And so I do pick up in store, and I check out, and it's like, cool, pick up your Spider-Man tomorrow on Friday. Pick up your Destiny 2 on September 12th. So I don't know.
12th?
Yeah.
Why the 12th?
I don't know. And I
That's weird.
I know all the people out there are like, yeah, but that was just free on PlayStation Plus. It was, but it's a physical game that didn't cost me anything.
Isn't that today?
No.
No, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
So you played it then? But you played it.
Yeah. So I did play Spider-Man. I played it Friday night. Got it loaded and everything. I did the smart thing where I came home after work and I immediately put it in, started it downloading, and then put the PS4 in rest mode so that when I jump on at my normal time, it was ready. I was ready to sling web.
Mm-hmm.
Sling that web real hard. And
web slinging fun.
Yeah. The first night I did a couple, it kind of forces you to do a couple missions right early on.
Mm-hmm. It kind of gets you a feel of a little bit of everything that you're going to be involved in.
And then once it was like, hey, head over here, I was like, or not. Swinging through the city. Which is the part that I was most excited for and the part that, in my opinion, delivers the most. Swinging is good. It feels really nice. I could probably just swing around the city for a couple hours, not really doing much, and feel okay about it. There's something about the different ways you move from building to building and the ways that you sometimes mess up and it turns into something really unique.
Well, what I like about the swinging is it's the closest to how that would work in the real world as far as the physics and such go.
You're always attached to something.
Yep, but when you're going around a building, you actually swing up and out and come back in like you would if you were attached to that building. The swinging physics are excellent. The whole traversal physics are really great. Personally, I don't think I've opened it yet. I've looked, but I can't think of a single time in this game when I will ever fast travel.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is more fun. It's not boring to get from place to place. It's a lot of fun. And there's so many different ways to go about it and you're right about finding something unique happening. Where all of a sudden you're running on the side of a building and that was not your plan at all.
Right, if you swing too close, it automatically just switches you to the run mechanic.
Yeah.
And then you sprint to the edge of the building and you just jump off and throw some web up and you're back swinging. Like,
yep.
If you've ever had a good teacher in school that made you feel like you were never wrong when you were wrong, That's what Spider-Man's web slinging is like, swinging.
Yep. But a lot of the time, even when you make a mistake, it doesn't feel like it was a mistake. It feels like it was a different way of doing things.
It is almost impossible unless you are really trying to kill all of your momentum. When traveling.
I agree with that.
Like, they have made it so effortless to continue your progression towards the point you're trying to go to, no matter how you choose to do so, and it feels really good.
And it's funny you say that because you're right, it is. But the swinging mechanic is really very simple, but it's hard to explain because it's also very complicated at the same time to get yourself up to speed and hit your peaks and move where you want to move. I mean, the way you do that is super easy, but actually doing it is a little bit harder. You're never going to fail at it, but if you're striving for some sort of perfection, you really have to work at it.
But even if you're not, you're still moving forward and at a faster pace than a walk. The travel, and I don't know if I'll fast travel either, because my understanding is there's an animation that has to load with the fast travel, and the way that you move so quickly through the city, I don't know. The city's big, but you still move pretty quickly.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know if it would be worth it to me to fast travel, but
I heard those graphics are pretty funny, though.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Let's do it a few times.
So, in a lot of Spider-Man, we're going to spend some time on Spider-Man, folks. There's not much news.
Yeah. There's not.
If you hate the web slinger, this might not be your episode.
Well, you know, it's funny because in the comics and such, I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan. I feel like Spider-Man's been played out with the movies and all that. But this game is awesome.
I love any superhero.
And I was excited. I was very, very excited to pick this game up, and I'm glad I did. I don't hate Spider-Man. I'm just kind of.
But I don't love any superhero, and I love the way this game feels. Mm. You know, there's a lot it has going. It's Insomniac. I like the games they make. It feels like an Insomniac game, but it also feels like a Spider-Man game. Mm-hmm. So a lot of early reviews we don't review things. A lot of early reviews are out. They seem to be in that 85 to 100. So 8 to 10 or 80, 85 to 100.
A lot of them require. That's true, but a lot of them are more along the lines of 95 out of 100.
Yeah, I think on Metacritic it's got like an 85 or an 86.
Yeah.
I think that's spot on. I think it's a really great game. I don't think it's perfect. I think that many people reviewing it aren't wrong. I think it's very layered. I think if you want it to be simple, it can be pretty simple. If you want it to be complicated, it can definitely be pretty complicated. I think if you just wanted to jump in and play it, you could do that without ever messing with the suits and the gadgets and all that stuff.
Yep.
But there's definitely a level of complexity to it. But at its core, just being Spider-Man and traversing the city is enough for me to be okay spending $60 on it.
Right.
Because I'll do that for 10 plus hours.
I already have no problem. Know that I have no problem with the money I spent on this.
Right. My plan is to mainline this game as much as possible. Because I don't have 30 to 40 hours is what everyone said it takes to do everything. I don't have that much time. So I just want to mainline it. And then do anything I want to do after that, knowing that I beat it. But I would be just perfectly happy swinging around the city collecting things. Feels pretty good.
I am in the process of collecting things and stuff as I go. I'm really not very far in on the missions. I get sidetracked collecting things and taking pictures and doing side missions and stuff like that. So I will not be mainline. You'll probably finish this game before I do.
Hopefully, if I do it right. If I can keep myself from getting distracted. I've heard that if you just mainline it, you can do it in 12, 13 hours.
Right. Well, the good thing is I don't think... Well, we'll go over all that in a minute, about all the different stuff coming out that shouldn't be getting in the way of Spider-Man for any amount of time. But
so it looks like on Metacritic, just so that no one tries to be like, you're wrong, it's an 87 right now.
87. So you were close.
It's an 87 on the critic side. It's an 8.3 on the user side. 94 critics reviewed, 807 people. Users have reviewed. So a group that size is typically not wrong, and I would agree with them.
I would too.
We don't, like I said, we don't score things. If you asked me to score things, I probably would give it a 9.
9 out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. It's not perfect. If you've played games that have received tens and hundreds in the past, it's not that, but it's very good and it's fun.
And it's very close. And you're going to be hard pressed to find a game that you've had this much fun with in a long time. Just straight up fun.
Now, there's a couple things that it does really well that are almost unnoticeable, but I want to shout them out real quick. The way audio is interrupted and resumed is fantastic. In a world where you can do whatever you want, the game has to adjust on the fly for you to do those things.
Yep.
So I was in the middle of a phone call and decided to pick a car up off of someone. Well, that was a mission phone call. You know, that's probably not okay in a lot of games. Normally that audio would keep going, and you'd also have this other thing going on, or it would just abort that audio and you'd have to wait for the random event to trigger again.
Yeah.
The second I completed doing what I was doing, he called the person back and goes, "Sorry, you know me, I get distracted."
Yep. Or I got a voicemail from so-and-so.
Sorry, my phone cut out, or whatever it is. He made as soon as I finished the new thing I started, he went right back to where it was in a way that seemed like how you would do it in real life, where you're like, oh, shit, I forgot. I was supposed to be doing this thing, and that's something very small that I think makes an open world game feel less open.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you on that task in a way that I think is very important if you get distracted easily.
Natural. Mm-hmm. It's very natural.
The talk is good. The people on the street are funny.
Yeah. Some of them are.
Yeah, I think just the writing in general seems very Spider-Man, which is what you want out of a Spider-Man game.
Well, what's nice too is the most recent incarnation of Spider-Man we've seen is the MCU version played by Tom Holland, who is 15, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What's important to note, and this isn't really a spoiler, it's been said, here we're looking at Spider-Man / Peter Parker when he's like 24.
Yeah.
25, so you get a little bit more of this is not an origin story. This is not the beginning of his crime fighting days. He is established in this city.
Yeah, they actually don't even give you like a here's how Spider-Man's Spider-Man.
Nope.
Which I was super thankful for.
Yep. So you do get it. It is a different Spider-Man than most people are used to.
There's some talk early on where he is talking to the chief. Mm-hmm. And he's playing another character. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's just funny. It's silly and it's funny, and it's how a kid that was 20-something would be if they were also happened to be Spider-Man. I just think...
If it's not that... a lot of people think of the super cheesy 16, 15-year-old Spider-Man. I don't really think you get that with this game. You get... The conversation is very natural, even though it's still Spider-Man-y. I guess
instead of cheesy, I would
quippy and stuff.
I would go with like camp.
Yeah,
it feels campy. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. He says things where you're like, I would have said that at that age because you're kind of arrogant. Yeah. You're kind of a smart ass, and you happen to be Spider-Man.
Right, which ups your arrogance. Like I would say that stuff when I was that age, and I was not Spider-Man.
And her responses suit someone who is not Spider-Man but understands why he's charming.
Right.
And what makes him him. And I don't know. I just think that is done very well, and I think it's easy to miss that. There's also this social media side of this game.
It's really cool, isn't it?
It's really neat, and they kind of bury it. It's kind of like you have to go looking for it, really.
You have to find it.
But I think that stuff is very, very funny and charming, and I don't know if it was going to be a bigger part of it, and they scaled back, and they kind of just left it where it was, or if that was always the intention. But there's a fake Twitter inside the game, and I think it's also something that is easy to skip over, but if you have this game, you should read it sometimes.
Read it, yeah.
He's also at NYC Wall Crawler. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Which is a great Twitter handle.
And there's also going to be a little... one of my favorite parts is listen to J. Jonah Jameson has a has a podcast that pops up randomly while you're flying around, and it's really it's just entertaining to listen to. He's like it's just he's a conspiracy theorist. He's for Alex Jones he's the fictional Alex Jones in the Spider-Man universe, for lack of a better way to put it.
So yeah, no matter how you feel about Alex Jones, this guy feels like a Spider-Man PS4 version of Alex Jones, without being a total bag of dicks.
He's
But it's funny. Like, he goes off about things, and callers call in, and they ruin what he's talking about, and
he thinks he's gonna get in one thing, and it's not what he's getting, and
the game is very self-aware, but they do it in a way where it's not over the top. It just feels very cohesive. It feels like a game that was built by a very large team that had a lot of love for this project.
Yep, and the game is its own story, but it feels like it could fit in the comic book universe. If you're a person who enjoys the comic books, it feels like it could fit in there. It's not part of that universe, but it feels like it doesn't feel really out of place. So it has that going for it too, that recognition.
They very much, I would agree, they very much lean into the Spider-Man thing, but they keep it very Insomniac.
They have a reverence for the character.
You can feel that this game probably wasn't possible without Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
You know, they needed that base. They needed that style of open world game with that traversal in order to figure out how to do this and make it feel fluid. And I can't say enough about the way moving feels as Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. It is the most Spider-Man ass thing that you have ever done. I know people love the older Spider-Man games. They're great. I don't have a problem with people who love them. They weren't for me. I've heard nothing bad about them. But this is all
totally different animal.
All the polish that you've always wanted on a Spider-Man game. That also hits, I think, most of the other marks. The one thing you and I disagree on, I don't love the combat.
I like the combat.
I think it is very layered and unnecessarily complicated. I also think that the game puts you at a disadvantage a lot with the way that the rehearsed combat happens. But I do think the animations, and especially the finishers? Focus attacks. Is that what they're called?
The finishers?
Yeah, they're super cool.
Yeah. And this is where you and I disagree a little bit, as you already stated. I do think it is layered. I don't think it's unnecessary. I think it's another option to play it that way if you want to. I don't think you have to, but I like the layering of it. I like all those different options. I don't have the problem with the scripted moments as you do. I know one complaint you had is that sometimes things get too frenetic that you can't tell who you're getting hit by or who's shooting at you.
So when you first start, when you're in the middle of a fight, it might be like 4 dudes all with fists. Then it's all of a sudden it's 4 more dudes with fists, but now it's 3 dudes with guns. Then it's with handguns. Then it's 4 more dudes with fists and 5 guys with machine guns. And then it's 4 more dudes with fists and then 6 guys. Like it feels like there's a progression to every single fight that doesn't feel as if it just happened to me. Mm-hmm. I guess is my problem. They all escalate to the same kind of level. They all look the same. They all act the same. And I'm like, okay, how many more waves before this is over? I feel that way every time I get in combat.
Yeah, I will say that the AI isn't great.
And then when you said you don't have to play it that way, I do think you're punished for not playing it that way, for not being strategic, for not using the upgrades. The moveset looks like a fighting game when you open it up.
It doesn't. It's not that.
There are so many different things. It's twice square here, then X plus, hold down X and then circle, and then this. There's a lot going on for a game where I just want to be Spider-Man and beat some dudes up. So the combat, while it works, I think the way that they meant for it to work is my least favorite part of this game. But luckily, I haven't had to do a lot of that yet.
Well, I have, and I do have to say that I was a little skeptical about the combat after the first few times I played it, because I too felt like I was lost. Like, who's hitting me? Where am I getting hit at? But then as I did more, because I've done quite a bit more fighting in this game than you, so I have had much more experience with the combat than you have, and as you start to, level up and get new skills and do it more and more, it all starts to become much more fluid. And before you know it, you're stringing together, you're launching this guy in the air and then doing a backflip off of him and web slinging down to someone else and punching them into and you are stringing them together, and it just becomes very second nature, and it becomes very easy as you start to move along. So I know you like things simple, so that might not be the case for you. You might still be super annoyed with it. But I found that it got easier, and I wanted to use some of the other options that it offered. I wanted to get deeper into the combat as I moved along. When I first started, I was button mashing. I remember that it was triangle 0 or triangle O and square. And I just mashed on those buttons. But then as I started gaining and learning more and doing it more, I did start utilizing some of the different options it gave me, and I found I enjoyed that more. And it is fun to come at it from a strategic level once you have it in your head that you're capable of doing that.
See, but I don't like my combat strategic, which is...
I know, you like to just go in and punch
I just
faces.
want to be done, yeah. I don't want the combat in any game, so when the combat turns into a puzzle game, I really don't want to do that. Or I'm punished for not doing so. I guess I wish the game gave me the ability to do it either way. And I think it is way too complex for you to do it that way now. I can't imagine how it's going to be later in the game when the battles actually get tough if you don't use strategy. And so maybe here's my other problem. So I'm playing on friendly, which is the weakest tier for your difficulties.
Baby mode,
I purposely moved it down to that because I didn't want to fuck with the fighting, because I'd heard a lot of people say the fighting is very layered and there's a lot to it, so it takes a while. So that sounded terrible to me. So I purposely went to friendly mode, hoping to avoid some of that. And it says, for casual people who just want to enjoy the story. That's not true. I've died some while attempting to actually try to do well. If you were a casual person who just want to enjoy the story, I don't know that you could. The combat's going to take you time, and I wish they would have... I think what you're talking about is fine. Leave it on normal if you want that style of combat. But there should be an easy way out where I can button mash and be fine through a fight, and I just don't think that you can. I really don't think you'll be able to later on in the game.
I mean, I think I kind of disagree with you. I don't think that they're... Just because you want to enjoy the story doesn't mean you take out all the elements of the game.
Yeah, but they say a casual that doesn't want the challenge just wants to... So it's how they describe it is my problem.
It is.
They make it seem like I'm going to swing through the city and enjoy myself, which is what I wanted to do with this game. And I don't think that is a mode that exists.
Oh, are you seriously telling me you thought you were going to get by with no combat?
Not no combat, but combat that I didn't feel like I was going to struggle with later on.
Okay, well... You may change your mind as you get further into it. Like you said, you've only had a couple fights.
Yeah. Well, it's either way, it's going to be my least favorite part of it, because the part I want was just to be Spider-Man and be throughout the city discovering things. And
I like all of it together.
So. Yeah, I am not a fan of the combat. That would be the reason I would ding it. I think most everything else in that game is very solid.
See, I do not ding it for the combat, but we're looking for different things out of combat. So.
Yeah, I don't. I think that combat's going to be very frustrating later on. For me, and I'm not excited about that part of it.
Well, here's the thing. With the exception of bosses, I'm not sure that the actual...
Well, I assume it'll just be more waves of dudes.
I doubt it. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's going to be very GTA-like, where it was your enemies took the same amount of damage and did the same amount of damage all through the game. Except for some of your bosses.
It's the same thing on there. Like, combat in that kind of game, least favorite part of that game, too. You know, I just don't like that. It pulls me out of the real thing, because I can't go about it like I would, but I can move through the city like I would. I can do the missions as I want. I can collect things as I want. It just feels like that's one of the few things that I can't do as I would want.
I see it would be a shitty Spider-Man because you would never fight anybody.
Yeah, but in an open world game, let me decide how to do that.
I think there are options. I just think you're not there yet.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to see it your way because you like it.
You can literally... I'm not expecting you to see it my way.
So we're not going to agree on that
That's true. We won't.
I'm not trying to win you over on my side. I'm telling you that's my problem with it.
Gotcha.
It doesn't feel good to me for the way that I wanted to enjoy that game. And I just think that even if they had written the way that mode is stated, I would have felt better about knowing, well, I guess I'm going to have to fucking figure out this combat thing. So I could have kept on normal, I guess.
No, because then they would take more of a beating.
Well, it's frustrating anyway, so. Is there trophies tied to it? I hope there's not trophies tied to the difficulty level.
I don't think so. Not to the difficulty.
No game should do that. If you make games and for some reason listen to this show, don't fucking tie your trophies or achievements to difficulty level.
Yeah, I hate that.
Then people play it on a level they shouldn't be playing on because they're trying to get a stupid fucking trophy.
Right.
Don't do that.
The whole point is to enjoy your game.
Right.
Let the trophies reflect that.
Yep. Don't make them so easy that there's not extra stuff to do or they don't have to focus on something, but don't tie it to me having to step out of my comfort zone and enjoy your game less. Yeah,
that's why the only trophies I don't have for the Mass Effect games are complete insanity.
Stupid. It's a dick.
Because I don't want to play that way. I love those games. Love those games.
But you love them less if you play them on a mode that you're not comfortable with.
I don't want to play them on that mode. I don't want that kind of challenge. That's not what I play video games for. My life is a challenge.
See, I didn't look at the trophies at all for Spider-Man because I don't plan on platinum that game because I assume you have to do all the side quests and everything. And again, I don't have 30 hours. So.
I have not looked at all of them either. I've looked at some, not many. I mostly look at the ones that I've gotten to figure out why I got
I've paid no attention to the trophies in this game. I don't want the stress. I'm telling you, I just want to get in this and just enjoy it for what it is. If I come out with 20% of the trophies finishing that game, it's fine. It's fine. I do want to finish it. I really want to finish it.
That's going to be the hardest part for you.
I don't think so. I feel like I've got actually a pretty decent plan to get this game knocked out.
Doesn't it suck when you have to have a plan to finish a game you love?
I mean, anyone that listens to this show knows I probably don't finish 90% of the things I play.
I know.
It doesn't bother me to not finish them, or I would go back and finish them, but I want to have more of a focus to finish some of the ones that come out that I enjoy. But we're in a fucked up time right now.
Our little Ryan's growing up.
We're in a fucked up time. You're about to have to skip some games or put a plan in place.
Or put them on hold. You're going to have to not be the first, essentially.
Yeah, the fear of missing out is going to be hard on you if you're one of those people.
For example, just to give you a great example, I wanted to play Spider-Man. I did not pick up the Forsaken expansion for Destiny on my Xbox. I want it, but I wanted to play Spider-Man. I don't want to play Destiny. What do I do?
Right.
I didn't get it. I made a choice.
For time purposes, Rocket Pass is out for Rocket League. We played some of that. We side differently on that too, but we're going to hold that off till next week and see if they make any tweaks or changes to it.
Okay.
Because we'll go on another 30-minute rant. We won't get to the shitty news that we're about to talk about. The first thing I think ties into what you and I were just talking about, though, with the plethora of games that are coming out.
Oh, yeah.
We usually do this. I should say I usually do this, and I just totally forgot. I try to remember what I do when. The first of the month, I try to always pull the games that are coming out for that month so you can plan how broke you're going to be. I forgot. Happens.
Oh, you had a holiday.
Holiday, some technical difficulties. I just forgot. So, I've gone back and compiled the list of things coming out for September. Obviously, some of these are already out. Some of the very big ones are already out.
We know.
But I figured we could run everybody through the list. You want to do the list?
Go ahead. You want me to do
the list?
Doesn't matter. Since you wrote it,
I didn't write it. I just steal that stuff.
Oh, you just stole that shit.
I
see how you are.
You know better than that.
So these are basically, I'm going to go game, platform, date. Obviously, the first dates that I say will already have occurred. So just keep an eye on your calendar to know which ones are currently available and which ones are coming. Destiny 2 Forsaken DLC for PS4, Xbox One, PC came out on September 4th. Also on September 4th, we had Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age for the PS4. And PUBG officially released on the Xbox One.
You can pause real quick. I have a friend who's playing Dragon Quest 11, and he says it is very, very good.
Oh, good.
So, the reason I bring it up is it's his first Dragon Quest game, really, and it's still comfortable. So I guess if you've been looking for a JRPG, that may be one that's worth jumping into.
Okay. All you JRPG fans out there, it has released. So then we had September 7th. We had Immortal Unchained for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
That sounds like a fucking video game.
Yeah, it
Immortal
does.
Unchained. No thanks.
That is the most video game of video games.
No thanks.
We had NBA Live 19 for the PS4 and Xbox One on the 7th. We had SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy for the PS4 and Switch on the 7th.
Heroine.
Same day, obviously, we had Spider-Man. And lastly, on that date for the 3DS, we had Yokai Watch Blasters, Red Cat Core, and White Dog Squad.
That one wins for the best title for sure.
Oof, definitely gets longest, I think.
Wow.
Oh no, we might have a contender further down. So just sit tight there, ladies.
Buckle
and
up,
gentlemen. September 11th, which now we are getting into the dates that have not occurred yet. For the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch is NBA 2K19. For the Switch, on the 13th of September, we have Bastion. Also on the 13th for the Switch is Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. Now we're moving on to September 14th. Another big one for the month. PS4, Xbox One, PC is releasing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. For the Switch on the 14th is Lightfingers. 21st of September has one game coming out that day. It's for the Switch, and it is also the other contender for the longest title of the month. And that is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna the Golden Country DLC. So to repeat, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna the Golden Country DLC for the Switch on the 21st. So now we're going to move along to September 25th for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, Switch is Valkyria Chronicles 4. Also on that day, for all those same systems, is The Walking Dead, the final season, Episode 2. September 27th, got one that my world's going to collide with, is Life is Strange 2, Episode 1 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. On the 27th, we have, for the Switch, Towerfall. Moving along to the 28th, for the Switch, we have Dragon Ball FighterZ Z. And lastly, for the month on September 28th, for everything known to man, that would be the PS4, PS3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Switch, PC, we have FIFA 19. And those are the games that were released for September of 2018.
So the problem with this list is there are too many good games.
That it is a situation.
In October and November are the same thing.
The same.
So, good luck. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you to play and to not play other than go with your heart. I think if you're playing a lot of these games, you probably aren't going to make a wrong decision.
Well, and just from my point of view, I like the two. I've played and finished all the Tomb Raider games. I love the Tomb Raider games. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I'm not buying day and date. I'm waiting on that one until I finish Spider-Man.
So, I mean, just looking at this, if I was right now, if you said make a list of what I should buy in September for you, I mean, Destiny, Forsaken DLC, Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Life is Strange. Without even reading anything, that's 4 games that you can't play in that month.
That's 4 games in pretty much 4 weeks.
Yeah, so...
And there's no way I can play all those in a month. No way I have that time.
And it's the same thing if I go through the list. So...
Oh, I've got... Yeah, there's tons of them here for you.
So it's a problem because I can't play everything I want to. Now's a great time to jump into PUBG on Xbox that it's finally out. I don't have time for it. Obviously, I'm in Spider-Man. I can't wait for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There's no time. I still have No Man's Sky, which now added weekly updates that I want to get back into. Rocket League's got the Battle Pass, forcing me to make sure I'm in there every day because I can't get behind on the Battle Pass. You know, I still have Firewall, which I'm loving on VR. Like, there's no fucking time. Not to mention we're rolling into Red Dead and Fallout and everything else that's on its way.
That's not to mention the games that are still coming this year.
So,
and a matter of fact, it's possible they're going to roll right through January, February. So it's going to be a good 6 months, depending on how you look at it, or a shitty 6 months, depending on how you look at it.
If you can show some composure here, Target almost always does a buy two, get one free. Mm-hmm. If you can somehow relax, you can probably clean up pretty well with a lot of these titles as we get closer to time. Or?
Well, and that's a thing you'll notice. What is good about this time of season is, I say good from a consumer's point of view, but so many games release that, you know, it wouldn't be surprising to see some of these titles for $30 in a month and a half.
Right.
Because not everyone is going to have the composure that you do or I do or some of our listeners do.
I've certainly tried to get better with it, but my composure is still not great.
But and they're going to play, you know, just to give you an example, they bought Spider-Man. They're going to play Spider-Man until Tomb Raider comes out. Then they're going to buy Tomb Raider. Then they're going to play Tomb Raider until whatever the hell other thing comes out that they wanted to play, so on and so forth. For that reason, you're going to see a huge amount of, you know, used copies or whatever,
right.
Or a huge amount of copies just aren't being bought anymore.
And then they're playing something until Call of Duty comes out, and then until Battlefield comes out, and until Fallout comes out, and until, you know, insert next game here, you know,
Fallout, whatever.
Until Smash comes out, into, you know, it just doesn't end for the rest of this year. And
it snowballs.
As much as you don't want to miss out, I think you do yourself a disservice to try to pick them all up at once and get through them, because I think you have to rush. I think the way that I've been trying to do it is to make a list, everything I want for the rest of the year, and then put them in order. Put them in the order that I want to play them, and then make sure, you know, if my second game is Tomb Raider, then once I finish Spider-Man, I'll get Tomb Raider. If that's the day it comes out, great. If it's not, great. If my next game is the Labo vehicle pack, like, that needs to be the next thing I buy. And until I'm finished with it, I need to not jump onto the other one, because I am the king of buying something and letting something else distract me and never going back to it.
Yes, you
It's just not the right way to do it if you really want to take in some of these experiences that you're excited about.
Well, and the thing to understand is when you do that, and I don't think a lot of consumers understand this, is when you do that, you do yourself a disservice. Because there's so much that you paid that was money spent that you missed out on.
Right.
You know?
And we talk about voting with your wallet a lot, but you send a message to the developers if their game's not successful when they release right up against something else to spread it out better.
Yeah.
Don't Titanfall yourself because I can't play everything.
Right.
I would love for the holiday season to not be a thing. I would like to have good games all year long.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I think we're closer to that than we ever have been, but I think there's still some months that are rough.
Well, yeah, but you're saying that with all forms of entertainment, not just video games.
Yeah, but I don't care about the others.
I know you do. I do. I care about all.
It's also just the video games also important to me.
Well, I mean, you know, but it's just an example of where our culture's at. You know, for a long time in TV, summer was all reruns. Well, now you do get original programming. You know, the summer blockbuster season used to be from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Well, now you've got you've got movies coming out in the beginning of March. You know, we're going all the way through November.
Right.
So our culture is dictating that these things start to get spread out. So it's if that happens, and that's the thing about video games. It's great that it happens in video games too, and it's great that we love video games, and that Ryan particularly only cares about video games. But that whole culture is representative of where video games is going, because it's a whole pop culture.
Video game is the last to do everything because people want things so bad and are so scared of missing it that they don't vote with their wallet a lot.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You know, it's different. $60 is a big commitment.
It is. I agree.
Pretty much everyone out there is saying next gen games won't be $60. They will be $70 to $80. So it's going to be even bigger commitment. You know, I just think that some messages have to be sent, and I don't want to kill off franchises to do so, but I do think it's okay to tell people, like, to let the developers know, like, I can't buy it all. You're going to have to be more strategic with your release date, and if that means moving it forward or backwards, then you got to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Little rant there. Next story, Anthem demo is going to release for PS4, Xbox One, and PC in February, which is not as soon as a lot of people were hoping.
Nope.
It is February 1st, 2019, and remember the game launches on February 22nd. If I could maybe make people feel a little better, it is my understanding that this will be the full game.
It will be the full game.
You're not getting a vertical slice.
You do,
right.
Will carry over.
So you are seeing what the finished product will be, which is why they are waiting so late, would be my guess.
It will be available on EA Access, which you can get both on Xbox One and PC. But you also get it free with the pre-order, which means PS4 players, you have an option for this too.
Yep.
Nobody's being left out here for Anthem. They're just going about it in different ways.
Cool.
That's about all.
It's a little late, I think, but I get it if what you're showing off is what they're going to be buying 20 days later. So,
right, and I don't know that there's, I don't know what they haven't stated what the cap's going to be on it. Whether it's this spot in the game, or you can only play it for this many hours, or whatever. I don't know any of that. So, we'll just have to wait and see for that one. But anyway, big news for me. I was a pretty big fan of this game.
A lot of people were.
Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning IP is acquired by THQ Nordic.
Those sons of bitches.
They're just buying up all the...
Last couple of weeks, they scoop up Time Splitters. Now they're buying up Kingdoms of Amalur. So I would say if you've been around games for any amount of time, you remember this game. Mm-hmm. It came out...
Kurt Schilling.
They shot for the stars at Studio 38. Yes, 38 Studios.
Yep.
They shot for the stars, and in most cases, they got pretty close.
Yeah, the game reviewed well. It was a lot of fun to play.
But the drama surrounding this game was unbelievably fucked up.
Yep, and it just caused the studio to
For their first games,
close.
They built Bethesda. I mean, they built a massive studio with 200 employees for their first game. They borrowed money from the fucking state.
And then couldn't pay
Rhode
back.
Island financed them. So they made a great game. You can't go 0 to 100 all the time. And I think a lot of faith was put in someone who had a lot of recognition. Who I think was on base with what he was trying to do.
He did it. Yeah, I do too. But look, it's always baby steps. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life, whether it's opening a business, driving a car, walking for the first time. Baby steps. You start small and you grow as it's necessary. You don't just be as big as you can just to fucking do it. Because that's how you shit the bed.
The cool thing is, THQ Nordic seems to be THQ of old.
They're making some smart transitions.
They're not fucking anything up, right? They're just releasing games that people want to play and remasters and things like that, and they're seeing if there's room for another one. They're not scared to spend money.
But they're also buying
decent properties.
Some favorite properties, some favorites for some people.
Yeah, so I just, even if it's for nothing more than to put their name out there, you hate to see properties and IP totally just disappear and die.
Mm-hmm.
And they're keeping that from happening. If they fail, someone will buy the THQ Nordic properties. So
probably.
Yeah, I think this is a fun story, and this caught me off guard more than the Time Splitters, to be totally honest. I kind of forgot about this game.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I thought about it when I saw it, and I was like, God damn, that was a good game.
I mean, everyone thought it was good. It just went away.
I played that through to completion. It was a good game. But, yep, we went away, and 38 Studios shit all over themselves, and that was it.
What do you think about this next story?
Man, when I read this story this week, I meant to send it to you, and I didn't. And I was pissed at myself. I was like, fuck. And then I saw it on there. I was like, Ryan's a motherfucking man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This excites me. This is exciting. This is exciting.
I try to pull stories that both of us will like, or at least one of us will have something to talk about. So I couldn't not put this on there. I honestly am less excited than you are about this. But I do like...
This is going to be so cool.
I guess I like when a plan comes together. And this...
Okay, Hannibal.
This feels like a plan coming together because the story we're talking about is the Netflix adaptation of Witcher. The Witcher TV show. Which is...
Henry Cavill as Geralt.
Yep. Superman.
Fucking cool. It's going to be awesome. Have you seen the Boss Logic mock-ups?
Yes, actually, I saw them last night.
Man, don't they look good?
Yeah, and a lot of people are freaking out about the look. I think the look will be fine. I think the show will be good. I don't know if it's going to be young or old. You know, I don't know what era they're going to go into. Uh-huh. A lot of people talking about how young, was it Geralt? Is that his name? What's his name? Geraldo. Is much more...
It's not Geraldo, it's just Geralt.
Much more aggressive than the older, wiser Witcher 3 version. Mm-hmm. So I think it depends on where they decide to set it. The Witcher universe is much larger than the video games. I think people need to remember that. It is a book series, which is very popular.
Particularly in Europe. Like
all very, very popular.
Written by a Polish writer, but it's a Polish property, but it is like huge in Europe, the whole...
But the reason I said a plan comes together is because he wanted to do this. He's a fan of the books and the games, and he expressed that he wanted to do this. Then he teased that he might be able to do this, and now he's doing this.
Yeah.
Passion projects are always better than ones that are just done for money.
When people's hearts are in it, it's fucking
even
good.
with the best actors in the world, and I think there are some really good actors who can be whoever you pay them to be. When they do something out of passion, it's always better. So, I actually think that this... Some people are freaking out about the casting. I actually think this puts it in a better spot to succeed.
Well, it's a name people know. What's nice is that it's not somebody who is outrageously known yet. You know, he's not like super popular and costs a gazillion dollars to have star in your thing. But he does have some recognition that come with some big properties. Mm-hmm. So he's a perfect kind of a mid-level guy, I guess.
Yeah, he's definitely recognizable, but he's not a Tom Cruise. He's not a Leo.
Brad Pitt or a Leo or I'm excited for this show. I can't wait to see this show. Once I saw this casting, I was like, "Oh man,
it'll be fun."
And it's good. What's nice is because I do this a lot. When I have something that I is going to be a TV show or talking about making a TV show, I like to do my own fan casting in my head. So I got lots of ideas on who should play what, and I can't wait to see who they get for like Yennefer or Triss or I'm Ciri. I'm excited. Apparently Ciri's going to be a little younger, so I'm assuming that it's going to be a somewhat younger Geralt, but not incredibly young. So probably right around his real age. He's not going to be the super aggressive maniac, but he's not going to be the wise old mentor that we know yet from like Witcher 3. It's going to be somewhere in between there. I'm super excited. I got some great ideas for casting in my head. Call me Netflix.
Call me maybe. That song blew up. Remember that?
Yeah, for like 45 seconds.
Everywhere.
And then it went away.
The next story on the list is my favorite story.
It's such a stupid
Here's
story.
why.
I'm not as excited about this one.
Let me tell you why I love this. Because
I know why you love it. I totally get it.
I don't know if you do. Because Xbox Australia is out of their mind.
They do crazy shit.
If anyone was to sit me down and say, what does video games need more of? They need more of Xbox Australia. Just do some weird shit for no reason other than the fact that you can. Because everything else is so rigid and business that this lightens my heart a little bit. The Xbox onesies were dumb as hell and amazing. The pop-up gaming hotel they did is brilliant. And now they have a PUBG grease-proof controller. That they decided to show off in the way that you would by throwing it onto a pan of chicken wings, because it is a chicken dinner when you win in PUBG. These are stupid, just like they sound. They're dumb. They're incredibly charming. This is the weirdest way to show off a controller, is laying in a pan of freshly cooked chicken wings.
The controller looks good though,
and
so's that chicken
looks fine. Yeah. So the controller uses PUBG's trademark colors, and it's hand sprayed with a urethane coating that Xbox claims is impervious to minor scratches, water, and of course, roast chicken grease.
I wonder if this gets rid of like potato chip grease and stuff. Is it all grease?
Yeah, it should be any kind of grease. The best part is they're saying the controller actually looks like it has grease on it, because the urethane makes it so like obviously shiny. And because they are absolutely insane, they're actually making them and giving them away for different things that people can do. So I think the first one was like tell your best chicken dinner story in PUBG. Was the first thing that they did, and they're going to pick 5 people from them to give them away. I forget the exact number. Was it 200? I don't think it's on here.
I don't think it's on here.
I think it's 200 of them they're going to make in total. I don't know. These are the kind of things that just make me feel better. I would love for PlayStation to do something dumb. I would love for Nintendo. Now, Nintendo really won't, because they're the most rigid of the 3.
They never will.
But there's something wacky, and I wish the rest of Microsoft, I wish Phil Spencer would be like, everyone over there who is out of your mind, you now run a team for all of Xbox to do these for all of Xbox. Because you're special. And I know that somewhere up there someone's still having to sign off on these things. Sign off on them for the whole fucking thing, though. It's brilliant. They're stupid. They're funny.
They're a lot of fun. It's fun to see this kind of fun in video games.
It doesn't.
You don't see it a lot
because it's so serious in business and all the time, and it's I don't know. It's fun. It's funny. It's stupid. It's a grease-proof controller. You shouldn't have greasy hands when you're playing games.
Right.
It's dumb, and it's so great. It's brilliant. Hats off to Microsoft, and specifically Australia, for doing something else stupid, just like the Xbox onesie.
We love it.
Which might be the best name ever for any product.
Them onesies were cool, too. I wanted one, and I should have got one.
You should have got one.
I didn't.
That's
it for the news.
News out. News done. Finished. Complete.
News
over. Goodbye. Now it's time. My newest, oldest, favorite, most forgotten, but not gone. Wait, gone but not forgotten segment.
What is happening?
Well,
do you have one?
One? You're going to be a big fan of this week's.
Is that sarcasm?
It is. But it's a great title. It was actually hard to find at one point. And I don't know if it still is, because probably no one's still playing it. But it is John Deere. You've already felt good, right? Harvest in the Homeland. For the DS. Not the 3DS. The DS.
The DS.
John Deere Harvest in the Heartland. I said Homeland. In the Heartland. It's a Harvest Moon clone with John Deere equipment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
But it had its own charm. It wasn't just a direct ripoff. It had its own charm. It was goofy and silly, and it was perfectly at home on the 3DS. It was very hard to find for some reason. This is way back when we still worked at GameStop, and I actually had 2 copies flown in to ensure that I would always have a copy. I don't know if it's still hard to find. It's probably not. But if you stumble across it and you're still someone who throws a DS in a backpack, it was a fun game to waste a lot of time on. You can watch videos and you will immediately get that Stardew Harvest Moon vibe from it. But yeah, John Deere Harvest in the Heartland, which is also a great name.
Every time you talk about how you hate combat, I'm like, I just don't get it. Then I listen to your Gone But Not Forgotten, and I'm like, oh wait, I totally get it.
Yeah, I like passive things. Big fan.
Yeah.
I don't know that walking simulators were ever made for anyone more than me.
Mm-mm.
You know.
No, did you play Gone Home?
No, I never did.
You've got to play Gone Home. That's like the most perfect game for you. There's literally nothing to do but walk around and find
I would
stuff.
probably love it. I've downloaded it like 12 times on 8 different platforms, but I've yet to play it.
Yeah, you need to play it because you will absolutely adore it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. I could see myself loving that.
I mean, there's not a survival aspect to it. Nothing. You literally, what you do is walk around, solve some really easy puzzles, and figure out what's going on. It's right up your alley. You'd love it.
Yeah, I need to finish, or I need to start The Witness because I think that I'll also feel the same way about that.
Yeah, probably.
I'm into that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's the Gone But Not Forgotten John Deere Harvest in the Heartland. Check it out if you are play the kind of games I play, or just for some reason still packing around a 3DS, or not even just a 3DS, just a DS,
just a regular
I think
DS.
It'll still play it on 3DS, but you don't even need the 3D part. That's what I'm saying. You don't even need it. If you have a Gone But Not Forgotten for us, make sure you hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag GBNF. GBNF at game_stitch. Now it's time for shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
Remember, if you want to shout out, head over to patreon.com/GameStitch. It's the first time I've done that pitch in this particular show. Should have done it a little earlier. Forgot. So
you did forget.
Patreon.com/GameStitch. Support us at the $10 tier or higher, and you earn a shout out each and every week, no matter what. If you don't provide us one, we'll provide one for you because you know what? You earned it, you deserve it, and you're just too fucking good to not get it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good read, bro.
Oh, thanks. I worked hard on it.
I know you
spent a lot of time.
You work very hard for this podcast. I don't think I tell you enough that I appreciate it.
I like that. Thank you. I focused attack right there. My focus bar was full when I hit that read, and I feel like I nailed it. So,
not bad for a guy who doesn't like combat.
I'm like that in real life too.
I
don't like combat in real life.
I
mean, it's fine for other people. I don't want to fight. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not a combat in real life guy either, but I'm also not Spider-Man or what other super person I'm playing as on the current video.
I'm a lover.
Yeah.
I'm a lover, not a hater.
Oh, you're
not
a lover,
fighter.
all right. I'm a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Actually, or neither, probably depending on who exactly you're asking. I'll probably sit right in the middle, which means I get
neutral as fuck. If you were, that would you be Mr. Neutral?
Yeah, there we go. There's a Mr. Negative.
Yeah,
in the
it's
game,
a shitty name
so
too.
Mr. Neutral.
Mr. Negative's dumb. That's a dumb thing.
Well, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, because it's dumb. Shout out for Thomas.
No worse. Shout out for Thomas. Thomas actually gave us some technical complimentary technical stuff this week.
He said we were doing well.
Yeah, he said at shirtless Dan at game_stitch. I don't know what kind of computer you're using now, but your audio sounds 100% better than before. Much clearer and crisp. 3 thumbs up.
Ooh.
And I replied, thank you for that, Thomas. I really hope it's not a one-off, so I guess we won't know until tomorrow.
Also, to do 3 thumbs up, you have to have some help.
Yeah.
You gotta get a partner in there.
No, I think it was like, yeah.
Think reset.
I think it was all one hand 3 times, not 3 at the same time.
I wanted to get you a gift yesterday when I was at the mall. Yeah,
Me?
they have. You've seen these things. I'm sure you've seen them. They take the clear glass and they put like a photo in them.
No.
I so badly wanted to do like 2 thumbs up with my face on it and get it in one of those crystals and send it to you.
Why?
Because then what do you do with it? Right.
Yeah. So why?
Because that's the kind of gift I want to send to people I know.
That's a Microsoft Australia.
You know what else I've been thinking about doing? I've been thinking about putting a framed picture of myself on my desk at work.
Oh, shit. That'd
to confuse
awesome.
everyone and never acknowledging the fact that I'm in a framed picture. I have no photos in my whole office. It's super bare, and I'm thinking about the one thing on my desk to be a picture of me. Maybe a picture of me at the desk, too.
That way people don't confuse it as your
right,
twin
and if
brother.
I ever want to get crazy, I'm thinking about signing it. Also.
To Ryan from Ryan.
Much love, Ryan.
Rock on, bro.
There's something about those crystals, because they make really small ones, too, that weren't that expensive. I'm like, what about that? How awkward would that be for the thing?
Please don't send me one.
You're a real asshole if you throw it away.
Please don't.
But you can't give it to anyone else because there's no context for it. So you just have it forever.
Please don't send.
Thought about sending you, Gerald, and Matt, all one of them, just to see what you would do with it.
I don't want one.
And then maybe asking every now and then, like, "Hey, what'd you ever do with that?" To make it more awkward. So those are fun gifts. Those are what you should buy your friends if you're listening. Buy them awkward things.
Yeah, if you want to be alone for the rest of your life, that's exactly what you should do.
It wasn't going to be like a super serious thing. At first, I thought a super serious one would be funny too. Like I thought that you would really like that. But then I thought it'd be more fun if it was obvious that I knew that you just wouldn't know what to do with that thing forever. I envisioned somebody packing, moving like 20 years from now and putting that in a box. Like this fucking thing.
Or after, the best would be after I died and they're going through my stuff.
Some weird crystal of some dude I've never seen before.
2 thumbs up. What's he?
See, now you're starting to get it. It's a pretty good gift. It's pretty good.
That would be the best.
And then what if someone keeps it thinking it's something important and then it gets passed down and this ends up in some other total different family with no value attached to it? That's the plan.
I mean, you can't even sell it at a garage sale or
you can't do anything with
it. You literally have to
keep it.
Either keep it or throw it out. You literally have 2 options.
But you're a total jerk if you throw away something like that.
I've been a jerk before. I would probably hold on to it for a little bit and then throw it out.
You know how good it would be to see it back there behind you on that shelf?
And then when you eventually ask, hey, what'd you ever do with it? I'd say, oh, I threw that out.
That would be no fun. I feel like most people wouldn't throw it out, though.
Most people
They'd be like, I should keep that. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with it, but I should keep it.
And to be fair, if I didn't know about it and I just received it, I would probably.
I kind of wish I'd have done it.
Like if you hadn't said anything, if you would have just opened the mail and Ryan sent me something. What the fuck is this?
But you would have felt like you had to keep it.
I would. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
It's so good.
And then I would like toss it up on a shelf or somewhere. And
I hope that at some point someone would come over and be like, what is this?
I'd be like, that's something.
I don't really know. I don't know why I have it, but I just do.
What'd he send it for? I don't know. You don't understand. I don't have the context to answer your question. It's really good. It just came in the mail one day.
Tell you another, for like a second best plan is to send it to a total stranger.
Oh my God.
But it's better if you send it to someone you know.
Yeah, the stranger isn't the same because the stranger will just throw it out.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be like, I need to know more about what happened here?
Not most, no. Most would just throw it out. But yeah, someone you know, no. They're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's like throwing away like a picture of somebody. You're like, I don't want to do that. What if I need that picture one day?
Oh, so I guess that's it.
That's
right?
it.
That's all we got.
That's it. It's a Spider-Man swinging into action and a controller that is grease-proof.
And Henry Cavill has...
Geralt.
Geraldo.
Geraldo.
On the Netflix version of... The Netflix presentation of The Witcher.
Also, if you're just jonesing for some old-school Witcher action, youtube.com/Gamestitch. Check out the Witcher Adventures. It's an old throwback.
Oh, yeah.
We have some Witcher Adventure episodes
It is. When The Witcher 3 first came out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about streaming some Spider-Man, but I just don't know if that's a game you should experience by yourself.
Yeah, probably not the best idea.
Everybody's playing it.
I haven't forgotten about the gem that I'm streaming in September.
Well, see you keep
your eyes peeled because
if I'm streaming Spider-Man, it's just going to be me swinging around collecting things, which won't ruin anything for anybody. So that's why I'm still debating it.
Well, I guess people. I don't know that you would actually need to stream that because that's maybe like a 5-10 minute stream of you, 15 minutes of swing, so people can get an idea of the mechanic. Otherwise, it's not very fun to watch.
Oh, I'm always fun to watch.
No,
always. Nothing but entertaining.
No, you're not. No, you're
Been told that multiple times. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. The biggest audience ever.
No, they don't. No, wrong.
Everybody's saying it.
Fact check.
I'm telling you the facts.
You don't know the facts. I'm
telling them to you. Everybody else is fake news.
You're making facts up and telling them to me. No,
Fake news will be the one thing. We don't get political on the show a lot. It'll be the one thing that sticks out of this. That'll forever be a thing that's said now.
Oh, yeah.
Fake news. That's it for us. If you want to follow us on the social medias, I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. Together we are at Game_Stitch on YouTube. We are youtube.com/GameStitch. On Twitch, we are twitch.tv/GameStitch. Go out and play some games. Get a little crazy with the sticks.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for letting us spend a little time with you. And thanks for spending a little time with us. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Good night.
Good night.